Hello friends, welcome back. So today in this session we are going to see and learn about the solid design principles. So this is one of the the best design principles. Okay, currently we have if you are following the object oriented principles. So this is not a specific about any programming language. So if any programming language which are following the object oriented programming, you can apply this design principle over there. Okay, so solid is acronyms of the first five object oriented design principle which has been given by the Robert C. Martin. So every word of the solid has a unique meaning, okay, that will help you to to do the easy programming, okay, and it will easy to maintain. Okay, this will help you to to avoid the code smells, easy refactoring the code. Okay, so all these things you can achieve if you are following the solid design principle. Okay, so we will see each word, how the each word describes the these principles, and we will see with the real life example so that you can understand, and it will store into your subconscious mind. You will never ever to forget. Okay, so this will be forever in your subconscious mind. So be careful about the example. I am going to take the real life example that will keep inside your subconscious mind. Okay, so let's see. So solid stands for, the first S represent the single responsibility principle. The O means open closed principles. L means Liskov substitution principle. I stands for interface segregation principle, and D stands for dependency inversion principle. So we'll go one by one of these acronyms. Like let's start with S, single responsibility principle. So what it say? Okay, it say your class should have only one reason to change. Okay, means a class should have only one job. So at any given time you should have a only single reason to modify the class. So if there is any reason which are coming like to change the class for more than one reason, that means you are breaking the rules of the design solid design principle. So you should always keep in mind a class should have a single reason to modify. So at any given time you should have only one reason, right? So let's see the example. So say this is the class book. Okay, this class returns the title of the book, author name of the book, okay, and the next page of the book, okay, and you can print the current page also of that book. So this class is doing the four things. It's returning the title of the book, it's returning the author name of the book, it's pointing to the next page, it's doing the job of the printing the page as well. So multiple, this class is doing multiple jobs. So if you want to change the title of the book, you can change here, right? So if you want to change the author name of the book, you will have to make a changes here. Okay, you have to, let's say you want to print the current, not current page, you want, currently you are printing on the some one printer, and you need to make a change on the other printer. So you are getting the multiple reason, okay, to change this class. So this is not following a solid design principle. This is not following a single responsibility principles. So this principle say you should have only one reason to change this class, but you are saying here you are getting the multiple reason to change this class. So how you can normalize this class? Okay, so let's see. So what will you do? You will create a book class. It will return only the title of the book. You will, right? So there is a get author, so it will return the author of the book. So this class is capturing only the information related to book. So let's see pagination. So this class is containing information about the pagination, like it, you can go to the previous page, you can go to the next page, okay, you can give the particular page number, and this will take you to the that particular number. So every class is having some responsibility given, right? So this book will have only the information related to book, the pagination class will have information related to the pagination. Okay, and the this class printer is having information related to the printer related, like you want to print the document in HTML format, or printing data in XML format, or printing data in a JSON format. So this is how we are normalizing the class so that it can fulfill the solid design principle and the single responsibility principle. So this is the meaning of the S for single or sole responsibility principle. So this was the single responsibility principle. Let's move ahead. Otherwise, O. Okay. So O stands for open closed principle. So this class say, okay, the class should be open for extension but closed for modification, right? So at any given time, you should not allow to modify the class. You should be allowed, okay, to extend that class. So if you want to add extra features, okay, you want to modify anything, so don't go directly to modify the class. Extend that class, create a new class by extending, create a derived class, and then you, as per your requirement, modify the class. So let's see the example. So let's take the example of the book class only. So suppose you created this book class, and in this class, okay, you are returning all the details. So let's say type this get details. Okay, so you are returning the author name, age and the address. So three things you are returning, right? So tomorrow if someone is asking, okay, no, I don't want the address of the book, okay, where the book is getting printed. So tomorrow the user can also ask, no, I don't want age of that author. Okay, so how you will do this? So as per the open and closed principles, okay, you should not allow to modify this class. Okay, so this is not fulfilling and breaking the solid design principles. So how will you do this? Okay, so let's design this class in this way. So you created a class book, okay, and here you wrote only one method, public string get author. So it's returning only the author name, right? So tomorrow if you need to return, okay, the author and the age, okay, so what will you do? You will extend the book class, okay, you will get the author and you will return this new author bean, right? In this you can return the author and the age, right? So if you need to return the author name and the address, so you can create the another class, and to extend that class, book class, you can derive that class. Okay, so this is how you can follow the principles of open and the closed principles. So from the solid we have completed S and O. The next acronyms is L. So let's go there and see. So the L stands for Liskov substitution principle. So substitution word, if you see substitution word, so it's giving the substitute, right? So at any given point of time, the derived class types must be completely substitutable for their base class type, and each derived class must be replaceable its parent without affecting parent's behavior. Okay, so at any point of time, okay, your parent, okay, behavior should not get changed, okay, and your derived class must be replaceable, right? So here the inheritance concept will also come into the picture. So you have to design a class or extend the class in a such way, okay, like at any point of time your derived class should be replaceable its parent class without affecting the parent's behavior. So here we will take a famous example of birds with two objects called kingfisher and ostrich. So this is the very famous example of generally given by the by the authors or by the teacher, okay, while explaining this Liskov substitution principle. So let's see and take the example. Okay, so let's see. You created a class bird, okay, and inside that bird class you created one method, public method, okay, and you just print out I can fly. So the bird class have a fly method which can fly. So let's say you created a kingfisher class which are extending the class bird. So bird becomes the base class and kingfisher becomes the derived class. Okay, you just created a constructor and you left it, right? So kingfisher is containing the fly method, right? Since this class has got derived. And another method you created ostrich, which are also extending the bird class, right? So kingfisher and the ostrich class are containing the method fly. So let's see. And you created the object of kingfisher bird. Okay, you have created kingfisher bird, staminate, yeah, kingfisher is kingfisher, right? And ostrich, two class, right? So kingfisher one class and ostrich is another class which are getting derived from the bird class, right? So kingfisher, we are creating the object of kingfisher, okay, and we are creating the object of ostrich. So if we are calling the kingfisher dot bird dot fly, okay, this method will get called and it will print I can fly. Okay, so kingfisher can fly, that is fine. Now the ostrich object is also calling the fly method which has got derived from the bird. So this same method will get called I can fly. So it is reporting ostrich can fly. But really, so if you are saying kingfisher can fly, I can understand. But ostrich do not fly. Ostrich run, right? So here we are breaking the principle. So it may not follow, right? So we will have to make or design in a such way that it should follow the Liskov substitution principle. So at any given time the derived class should be replaceable with the base class. So let's see and design this. How you design? So you created a base class like bird the same way that you had earlier created, public void fly, and you have a one method which are printing I can fly. Okay, then class kingfisher is extending the class bird, okay, and just constructor, nothing else we are doing here. So it will have the method of the bird. So public void fly will be here, right? Now I'm creating the ostrich class which are extending the bird class. Okay, but here what I am doing, I am deriving the fly method. I am overriding the fly method, right? And while overriding, okay, I am throwing new error. I do not fly, I run. Okay, and one method, more method I am creating, I run for the ostrich, right? So see, at any given point of time, I am extending for both kingfisher and ostrich, I am extending the bird, but the way which we are implementing it does matter. So now let's create the object. So again the mistake, so it's a kingfisher class only. So I am creating a kingfisher object of the kingfisher class. I am creating a bird ostrich object of class ostrich. Okay, thereafter I am calling the kingfisher bird dot fly, kingfisher can fly, that is fine. I am calling bird ostrich, okay, dot fly, then it will come here, this method will get called since this method has got overwritten, and then the output will come I don't run, I run. And if this ostrich part, if this message comes, okay, you can call dot run, right? So this is fulfilling the principle of Liskov's substitution principle, right? So this says each derived class must be replaceable its parent without affecting parent behavior, which got fulfilled, right? So from the solid we have covered S, we have covered O, we have now covered L. So let's move ahead. I stands for interface segregation principle. So this principle say a client should never be forced to implement an interface that it does not require, or client should not be forced to implement method which they do not use. So if you might come across the experience in an interface, you are defining some of the method and many more classes are getting derived, okay, implementing that interface. Okay, so whatever the method you are declaring inside the interface, and if you are implementing that interface, so this is your compulsion that you will have to implement all those method, right? So let's see the example. So we will be taking the same famous example of birds of kingfisher and ostrich, and we will see how you can easily implement the interface segregation principle from the solid design principle. So always remember, you have to not force any derived class to implement all the method of the interface. So let's see the example. Yeah, so if you see, I just created one interface iBird, and inside that interface we have a two method, fly and run. Since these are declared inside the interface, all the class which are implementing this interface bird will have to implement this two method, right? So let's implements this iBird. So I created class kingfisher implementing the iBird. So this will have a method, right? So you will have to implement here fly method, implement fly method, right? Fly method, right? And you will have to implement the run method. So this will run, right? This will run, right? And thereafter I am creating a class ostrich implementing interface bird. So these two method will have to implement, right? So these two method are getting implemented, right? But if you see what I am saying and what I am implementing here with this approach, the kingfisher is also fly and run, right? But kingfisher can only fly, right? It cannot run, right? And if you go to the example of ostrich, we are saying ostrich can fly and ostrich can run, which is not maybe the best case, right? So ostrich can run only, and if you go here, kingfisher can fly only. But here, since the kingfisher is implementing the interface bird, the kingfisher client will have to implement this, right? This is wrong, right? So this does not fulfill the solid design principle. It does not fulfill the interface segregation principle. So interface segregation principle says you should not force to implement all the method of the interface, right? But here you are forcing, because if the kingfisher is not implementing, this will not fly, this will not work out, right? So what is the correct way to implement? Come down, I am showing you. So here I will be creating a two interface, right? One interface will be the kingfisher bird interface, and other interface will be the ostrich bird, and I will be creating a two separate class for the kingfisher and ostrich. Kingfisher will implement the interface kingfisher bird, and ostrich will implement the interface ostrich bird. So at now this interface, so whatever the class is implementing this interface kingfisher bird, okay, they will have to implement the fly method only, right? So we are not forcing to anyone. This is a single method. If you need this, you implement this interface and go ahead, right? So this is fulfilling the interface segregation principle, right? Let's move ahead. Our last, from the solid we completed S, we completed O, we completed L, we completed I, and the last is dependency inversion principle. So what this principle says? It says high level module should not depend upon the low level module. Rather, both should depend upon abstraction. So you will find the many more real life example where you can see this. You can take the example of the kingfisher and ostrich bird as well. You can take the example of the MasterCard and the Visa card. Okay, if you are going to the any restaurant, okay, and after having a dinner or breakfast or lunch, if you are giving your ATM card, okay, and then POS machine does not know on which card you are giving, it's a Visa card or it's a MasterCard, right? So it will the implementation has been done in a such way, like the abstraction, it depending upon the abstraction. So at the runtime, whatever the card or the payment system or the merchant you have, it does not bother about that, because it had got abstracted, right? And the POS machine will not ever ask you, no, I do not support the Visa card, or I not support the MasterCard. So the limitation is not over there. So here, and the other example, the real life example is the log system, right? So sometimes you require to write the log in a file system, in a hard disk, right? Maybe in a Linux or in a Windows, and sometimes the requirement to log the statement into the database. Either it can be the Oracle database or it could be the MySQL database. So let me take you the example of the logger system only. This will be the good, and it will be easy to understand. So let's see this. Yeah, so I just created one class logger, and just created one static block. Okay, inside that block I am just creating an object of the file. Okay, and I am just creating one file, create new file of this file name. Okay, and that's it. I'm just printing file created, my object dot file name. What is the file name? And if there is no file created, it will say file already exists, or if there is any error, it will throw an error. So this class is doing nothing. At the time of class loading itself, the file is getting created. That's it. Okay, and in this file we have to write, right? So what will you do? And in this class we are creating one more method called log. So client will pass the string to write into the file. So just I am writing the logic, file writer, getting the object of file writer, it's writing the string whatever getting passed to the file which are residing in a hard disk, right? That's it. I'm not doing anything else, right? So but if you see here, tomorrow if someone is asking, no, I don't want to write the file using the file writer, I want to write the log into the MySQL database, or I want to write the log into the AWS cloud system, I want to write the log into the Azure cloud system, or I want to write the log into the Oracle database. This will not support, right? So abstraction is not there. So this is the hard coded. Every time the class logger is coming, it will have to write into the file only. So this does not support the dependency inversion principle. Okay, this is breaking the rule of solid design principle, right? So how will you implement this? Let's see. Okay, so we'll have to first create the interface of loggable, and in this interface I am creating just one abstract method called log. Since this is the interface, okay, we'll have to implement this method if you are implementing this interface, right? So I just created a class file writing which are implementing the loggable interface, and here I am just overriding this log. Okay, and here all these things I am doing here, file handling and writing, which what I had done in here, right? All these things right here. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, you can copy paste a web code and you can execute. Okay, and thereafter I am creating a logger class. Here in the logger class I am creating the object of the loggable service. Okay, and the runtime. Okay, the loggable service will receive what kind of the service it's receiving. It's receiving to log the file into the file system, or to log the content or the text into the cloud or the Oracle. So it will store into the log service, and from the log service it will be written here. So it will have a service, any kind of service it can accept, right? Service means either the cloud service, Azure service, AWS service, database service, or the file system service. So this follow the principle of Liskov dependency inversion principle. Okay, so this was all about the solid design principle. So if you go to the again state. So if you see, let me remind you, the first is the single responsibility principle, which says you should have a single region to modify the class. Okay, so a class should have only one and only one region to change to and do the single job. The other was the open close principle. The class should be open for extension but closed for modification. You can extend the class, but you cannot modify the class. Okay, it will not allow. If you are modifying, you can modify and will not give any error, but you are breaking the solid design principle. Other acronym is L, Liskov substitution principle. This says Each derived class must be replaceable its parent without affecting parent's behavior. Another is I stands for interface segregation principle. It says a client should never be forced to implement an interface that it does not require, or client should not be forced to implement method which they do not use. And the last one was dependency inversion principle. It says high level modules should not depend upon the low level module, rather than both should depend upon the abstractions. Abstractions means this is the one of the concepts of the object oriented programming language. So abstracts refers the essential features without background details. So you should not bother about what is going behind the scene, right? But your high level model should not depend upon the low level model. It should depend upon the abstractions. Highlight this line, abstractions. Okay, so this was all about the solid design principles. So hope you enjoyed this. So thanks, and see you soon. Bye bye.